You are now tuned in to the hottest radio station in Orange County, Tru1Hundred Radio.
All right, man. All right, we're here. All right, Tru1Hundred Radio, we're here. The Tru1Hundred Interview, it's a little different. I am in the back of a school cafeteria at work right now, but we had to get this interview in. I'm joined by my lovely co-host from the morning routine, Ms. Sheridan and Olivia. It was only right that we got her for this interview because we're international with it. Straight out of Liverpool. My guy, you've heard his music on the station before. My man, Royzy Rothschild. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, mate. It's a pleasure to be on the show, speaking with you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, man. It's been I've talked to you on and off for like the last couple of months. You've sent us music. We've played it on the station, but it was about time we got you on the show for an interview. You got a big single coming out. Rappers napping. Got a couple names on here. One name in particular, Bizarre from D12. So we're gonna get into that. But this is mostly Sheridan's interview. Sheridan. We're trying to get her today. Yeah, we're trying to get her feet wet in this media game. So I'm just here in the background, man. I'm just here for the conversation. I'm gonna let Sheridan rock, and we'll get into it.
There we go. So okay, Jamal told me who I would be interviewing, and the first thing I knew I had to ask you is, where did the name come from? Royzy Rothschild. It's very unique. I wanted to know where you got your name from.
Well, I've always been called Royzy. Forever. That was my nan. My nan called me Royzy, and the Rothschild bit is it's kind of I'm a massive fan of Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z is my idol, and they had the whole Rockefeller record thing. Obviously, the Rothschilds, the very good business family.
Yeah,
so, So it kind of means like Royzy business, Royzy money. That's what it means.
I'm glad that he came in straight with the Jay-Z, because I will be asking your top 5 at some point. It's a I know. You have to, though. You have to. I think the one thing I was excited to get into it with you today is you are from Liverpool. And as you know, being like a British artist, it's very London-centric here. It's very... the music industry here is so London-centric, but we see all of the time there's a lot of talent up north. There's so much of it. And even more with you, I found you do hip-hop. We know that it's here, is very niche, and it always has been, from the Skinny Mans to the Kalashnikovs. Like, not everyone really does hip-hop. It's more grime, garage, old school house, jungle. So even that lane...
A lot of drill and trap house at the minute.
Exactly. So what's it like, not only being a British hip-hop artist, but being from Liverpool, in a place where everyone kind of only knows where London is,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, to be honest. Obviously, I've had a good time. Like, I've dropped 18 mixtapes, 3 albums, and an EP. Done 9 UK tours. Not all my own headline, like 3 of my own headline and 6 supporting tours.
Who are you supporting?
We've supported loads. But some of the acts that I have supported have been like Bugsy Malone, Devlin, Lunacy, Wu-Tang Clan.
I love how he casually just dropped that, Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang, nothing, no big deal.
Yeah. And Devlin's a legend. Absolutely.
One of my favourite performances that I've done, I actually enjoyed supporting the Furious Five, Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel.
That is legendary. That is legendary.
Like, I'm going to stop dropping all these big names there. You got to pick up the dropping there.
No. But the thing is, like a lot of people have struggled to understand my marketing, but like I push all my music towards the USA. I don't push it towards the UK. Everything's like I push it all to the US. Everything's towards the USA. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. It really does.
Yeah. So I got a half decent support from the US. I put out the other day that we're going to be touring the USA in 2022.
Oh, nice.
And we start getting loads of messages saying like, you gotta come to California.
You for sure gotta come to California, man.
You do after you've spoken to Jamal now.
Come on now, you know we'll take care of you out here, man.
That's like on the serious note, like I've been trying to weigh it up, and I think most support from the US is coming from California.
Oh, nice.
Why do you think that is? I don't know.
California just knows good music, man. I don't know. I
get loads of support from California and New York as well. You know what I mean? So they're the two spots where I'm getting the most love, and even down Colorado, Massachusetts, places like that, and Miami. And Texas, I get loads of support in Texas.
He's getting love everywhere. Can you hear this guy? He's just getting.
I hear it. I was like, so it's all the places with like the really good weed, except Texas, but that's dope though. So I mean, that's dope. You're getting a lot of love, in the States, and that you're gearing your music, towards us, because I guess we're kind of like the gateway to kind of breaking out, even though you are international. Why do you think a lot of overseas talent want to break in the US first, then branch out to where they're from and all over the world?
The story is over here. If you can break the US, then you've made it. That's the story over here, is that nearly every UK rapper struggles to break the US.
Yeah.
Because even the bigger ones, the likes of I don't know, like Stormzy, who's well known, or I don't know, some rappers like Dave and
it hasn't really been done since So Solid, really and truly.
Yeah.
It hasn't been that. Even SAS weren't stars. They were just,
Oh yeah, they were amazing. SAS. Yeah. But it's kind of like a lot of people have tried, and it's just not worked. I genuinely believe it's because like the UK has its own version of what rap should be and what it should sound like, and the US's version of what it should sound like is completely different. I like to keep my style, even though I'm English, kind of as US as possible. Like the way my rhyming techniques are, flows, subject matters and things like that. I try and keep it so that I can kind of get away with it in the UK, but it hits the US in a certain way. So yeah.
I can understand that because, like I said, UK hip hop has always been very niche. It's always been an othered genre because we do have, like I said, hip hop was born and bred in the Bronx, right? It was born and bred in America. There's a traditional classic hip hop sound, whether people want to admit it or not. And we could say gigs is rap, but it's definitely UK rap. It's definitely from the tree of house, jungle, garage, grime, into that tree. I understand what you're saying there, to be honest. I was listening to your stuff and I did think it followed the pattern of more American traditional hip hop sounds as opposed to British. There is a definite I can see why you mark it over there for sure. But I couldn't work out who your influences were. That was one thing I was trying to figure out whilst listening to you. And because when I first heard of you, I was thinking, again, like I said, was I going to hear something that was like Mike Skinner, The Streets? Was I going to hear a Devlin? Was I going to hear a Kalashnikov? And I didn't at all. So who was it that you listened to that made you want to pick up a mic? Because,
Nas.
Any specific album or track that you heard and were like mind blowing?
It was Written album was the first Nas album I ever got. Obviously, and I used to go to sleep to that every night when I was like 12 years old or 13 years old. I used to go to that every night. But around that time, I was listening to Onyx. That Slam was out at the time, and I was.
He's hip hop.
Onyx. Nobody talks about. It's
Never.
crazy how rarely people talk about Onyx. It really is.
And Tupac. I was listening to Tupac. Mace. I love the Mace album. Harlem World was like the album back then. That was 1997, 98.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to DMX and Wu-Tang Clan, and all that, P Diddy and the Family, Biggie. So all them, they were all around the same time. Yeah, they kind of all the influences. But like I started rapping before I'd ever heard of Eminem, and like Eminem gave me the courage to give it a go.
Okay.
So did you feel there would have been a stigma if you started rapping? You know, it is a predominantly
there was a stigma even when I started rapping, even though Eminem was out. There was a massive stigma being from Liverpool and rapping because I don't know, a lot of things got said at the for the first few years, just obviously because of one of them, my colour being white, and just being from Liverpool and being English as well. Because it was quite a during that time, like 1996, 97, 98, 99. It was there wasn't like a big UK rap scene.
Racial tension
like
was high at that point as well in the UK, like all over. I think there was definitely, you know, people want to say it's multicultural and whatever you, but you know, in the 90s there was a lot of racial issues in the country. So I can understand the dynamic of that being quite controversial, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Seems like you've kind of gone through different eras of it too, and kind of, you know, started like, you know, transcending like the norms, right? Because I mean, being in the UK, you know, it's still kind of crazy being the white rapper out there, even though, you know, it's the UK. And I mean, you've done a lot of things. You've met a lot of greats in hip hop and performed with a lot of greats. And you know, it keeps going. You know, with this new track you got coming out soon. I don't know if people would consider Bizarre one of the greats, but I mean, you know, he was around one of the greats in Eminem. So how did that relationship kind of start with you and Bizarre? And how did that come about?
It's just he was obviously looking for work and stuff like that, so I just messaged him to see if he wanted to do the collab. And at the time, I was speaking to another artist from Miami called Mellow Carmelo. And I was speaking to him as well, and I just sent him the beat, and then we just took it from there.
Nice.
Yeah, and that track, I mean, by the time this interview is out, the track will be out. So
you know what collab I'm upset that I missed?
What collab?
I've never ever told anyone how upset I was about missing this collab. I had an opportunity to collab with Black Rob.
Oh, wow.
Man.
In 2014. And so there was something other, and I lost the opportunity. So I was speaking to him direct on Twitter, you see, and I kicked myself for the past few years. And I was trying to get hold of him as well, like last year, and then obviously he recently passed away as well. And I was just gutted then that, you know, I had that opportunity and I lost it.
Well, especially because, you know, the last couple of years, Black Rob, you know, he was trying to, you know, let everybody know he still had it. You know, he was doing like some freestyles every now and then, and still kind of, you know, getting his name to still be out there. You know, since, you know, he was one of those artists called Bad Boy that kind of, you know, got the got the shortest ends of the stick.
Yeah.
So he was still trying to grind out over here. That would have been a good look, man. He's
but sorry,
I'm glad
I was
you
just going
mentioned
to say.
collaborations. Sorry, just quickly, because
Yeah.
I wanted to ask what your favorite ones were. Because
my favorite ones are
really high profile.
What are my favorite
collaborations with other artists? Because Bizarre's really high profile. So, what are some other collaborations you've had and your favorites so far?
You know what? One of the favorite collabs that I've done is actually with one of my own artists that I manage. Her name's Lottie, and the song's called House of Cards.
I heard that.
Yeah. It took me 5 years to write that.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, 5 years. I started off with the 2 lines of the chorus, and then I'd lost the feeling for it, and then I came back, and then I kept coming back, and then like five years later, I had the song. Yeah.
Why do you think that happens with artistry? Like, you got an idea for a song, and then you're kind of just like not feeling it, or you get distracted, and you start writing other songs.
I think with myself, the way I write, I write within a feeling that I'm feeling within the song. So if for whatever reason I lose the feeling, if that makes any sense, it's kind of like, say for instance, the easiest way to explain it was if I was feeling angry and I was writing an angry song, and then if all of a sudden I felt happy, I wouldn't be able to write the angry song.
Yeah.
You're not in the right zone to like.
Yeah, when I'm writing, it's like a out of body experience type thing where I get within myself and I etch away at my soul and put the lyrics down. With them types of songs, like I had a song called "Pain in My Soul," which did well in 2015, which that took me like 9 months to write. I think I wrote like 2 lines a week.
So it's a really emotional process for you, because you know how some artists are like quite mechanical. For you, it's very sort of like emotional. And
I know I can be mechanical as well. Like loads of times when people want to feature off me or something like that, I can just write a 16-bar verse in half an hour. It just depends on what the song's about.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like "Pain in My Soul" was about like I had trouble with my daughter. Like my daughter died in front of my eyes in the hospital, and luckily enough, the doctors brought her back to life in front of me. And like there was all stuff that went on. Like my nan died. This is all in a short space of time. So it was trying to get all that into the song in the way I wanted to say it. If that made any sense.
While you're trying to process everything too.
Yeah. So that's why it took so long to write. And the House of Cards as well. It's that's got so many like metaphors and similes and triple entrecado meanings of. So it could mean one thing, but it means other things as well. So that's why
I can see why you'd want to perfect a song like that, because it's so personal. So you really want to get it down perfectly. Yeah.
The Rapper's Napping song with Bizarre, I wrote that verse in 2 hours.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's a dope verse, man. I actually really like this song, man. I've liked the last couple tracks you put out. That Henny in my cup and I'm feeling good. That resonated with me a little bit. Yeah. I'm a well-known Hennessy drinker. Not anymore. Like, it's that I've had to cut back, but I feel the song. How do you how do you turn it on and off when you can write songs like that, and then "Pain in My Soul"? I mean, yeah, I know it's like emotionally feeling, but certain writing style things you got to say, just overall, just beat placement, all that stuff. How do you approach that part of the music making process?
Well, every song's different. The Henny in Me Cup one with Miss Darley, we actually jammed for 3 weeks to come up with that song. So it wasn't as robotic as, right, I wrote a verse, she wrote a verse, we wrote a chorus and went to the studio. We actually chilled with each other for a couple of weeks, and was going back and forwards, just like, what have you got? This is what I've got. What have you got? And just kind of just enjoyed the experience of working together in the studio.
Were you guys drinking Hennessy while this was?
We were actually, yeah, we was. That's where the lyrics come from.
So do you drink Hennessy straight or do you mix it? Like,
I drink it straight.
Oh man, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. Yeah. That's.
He's from Liverpool.
I've heard some things about Liverpool. That's all right.
No.
That's.
They know how to party up there for sure.
There's a little story of what happened at the music video. So we went and bought some bottles of Hennessy, for the music video. And I thought, after the music video, I'm gonna drink these. I'm gonna polish them off. Yeah. Goodness. And Miss Stiley, halfway through the video, she drops the top of the Hennessy on the floor.
Oh.
I've got bad germophobia, like I've got OCD, and the director ended up going with the Hennessy because he wasn't bothered.
Well, I mean, especially during COVID, you're just like, yo, nah.
Yeah. I was like, go on, have it. He said he had a good weekend.
That's funny. You got the video for this current one coming out. You guys just did the shoot, right? You guys just
for Rappers Napping. Obviously we didn't have Bazaar for the shoot, so we've had to get creative with it. And obviously
do like a CGI or do like a hologram.
Did you wear a shower cap in honor of?
No, we never had the budget for all that.
You wore like a D12 hoodie during it, right? You got like the D12.
No, not a D12 hoodie. Can give you an insight to the music video though. So, the directors who shot the music video, they pitched me with, it was a dream, it was a nightmare. So I'm asleep, and then when I go fall asleep, like 4 bubbles come up, and you can see what is going on in the dream. So like Bazaar's trying to get me in the dream. So yeah,
that sounds like a really fitting video actually for
like that. Yeah, like Bazaar just chasing people around. Yeah, I like that. I can't wait to see it. Talk about Big Condo Records. I know that's a label you're affiliated with out there. How'd that come together? How did you make the moves to get it to where it is today?
So obviously, first of all, it's nearly 6 years old. It's actually 6 years old next month. So we're having a big celebratory party for that, which is going to be good to get out because we're still on lockdown here.
Oh man, that's right. Yeah.
They only just let people back in the bars today. Yeah. Today.
Oh, so you guys are going to be outside. You guys are about to be outside very soon.
No, it's been outside for the past couple of weeks, but they've only just let people inside clubs and bars. Yeah.
So Sheridan's about to go missing. It's great. All right, now we know.
But so it started 6 years ago. The name Big Condo comes from the meaning of shared complex music. How I come up with the name was in Miami, they have like condominiums, which is a couple months of the year you could own a part of the apartment. I could own a part of the apartment. Have I pronounced your name right, Sheridan?
You are.
Yeah. So Sheridan could own a part of the apartment, so it becomes living. So I switched that over to shared complex music. Obviously to make it make sense, because when I set up the record label, I didn't want it to be just rap. I didn't want like a Death Row Records or a Def Jam or anything like that. I don't
think anybody wants a Death Row right now.
Yeah, I didn't want anything like that. Like I wanted to build something which was more like Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
Which was like a mixed genre label. Obviously we started out with rappers, obviously, because I knew a lot of them, being within that part of the industry. But over the past 6 years, we've done a lot, and we've signed loads of artists. Currently managing 22 artists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, being involved in over 400 events over the past few years, and we've just done a lot, really, to be honest.
Hard work. And are all your artists on Big Condo from Liverpool?
No.
Okay.
We have artists from all over the UK.
Okay.
So I get a lot of USA artists asking me to, or asking us to be involved, and I always say no because it's just a little bit too hard to manage.
Yeah, that'll be yeah.
If that makes any sense, a lot of the people don't understand the work that's involved, or how it works, and it's just going to be too hard to manage an artist from,
especially abroad. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, well, not even a couple months ago, almost a year ago, I interviewed Emily Calher.
Yeah.
That was a really good interview. Great young artist. She does a genre of music I never really got into, but I liked her music.
Yeah, indie blues.
Yeah, indie blues, which I mean, she makes. I got to send you some of her stuff, Sheridan. And I know she's starting to do shows again. So, with things, opening up outside, the big festivals coming back. Are you guys going to start touring? Is there going to be a Big Condo tour? Like, are there any plans for that?
Well, the focus at the minute for touring is 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've spoke to a couple of people in California and Miami and New York about setting up a USA tour for 2022. Obviously, we're starting a UK tour, but all the artists are unique in the fact that there isn't really a Big Condo tour, but they do individual tours. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And they've got all events lined up. Like, so Emily's got her own headline event in Liverpool on the 30th of July. So she's got that, and the other artists have got their own headlines and things like that as well. But all the bookings are starting to come in from promoters for them now, so they're all starting to float out into Manchester, Leeds, London, Camden, all that type of thing. So it'll just get progress as the year goes on.
Okay. I like that, man. I like that. So, off air before we started the interview, you guys were talking about football, not soccer. You dumb Americans, football. Who's your favorite squad? Who's your favorite football squad? I'm not going to assume it's Liverpool because I'm.
Oh no, where is Liverpool?
Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there and make sure because okay, he's got it tatted. Okay, he's got it tatted on him.
Brits are very tribalistic. So if you're from Liverpool, you're definitely going to support Liverpool.
Where's your Arsenal tattoo, Sheridan? Where's that?
Don't even. They don't deserve a tattoo right now. They do not deserve one. Okay. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I feel that. I almost got a Laker tattoo like before LeBron got there. Mm-hmm. I think about it, but I mean, I might get it again now, but it might be more because of Kobe. But yeah. So I just had to ask the question because I figured I'd kind of make it somewhat relatable.
He does have a second favorite team though, which I have to ask.
It's Arsenal from England anyway.
Oh. Okay, so when I was in New York, I was gonna get an Arsenal jersey. They still haven't sent it, by the way. I've been home for 3 months.
Oh my God.
I should probably check up on that. So I mean, I've always been a fan of Arsenal. Barcelona is my soccer, like my football team. So I'm
in the bin.
I'm definitely a huge Barcelona fan. But yeah, I mean, I like Arsenal. I like their team. I like what they do. When I come to the UK, I feel like I have enough UK friends to do this now. I gotta come watch some football with you guys. I've always wanted to do that. That's one of the things I've always wanted to do when I head across the pond. Why do they say across the pond when it's the Atlantic Ocean? I've never understood.
That's what they say, across the pond, don't they?
That's interesting. I was like,
you know what, right? I'll tell you this, Jamal. Right, from when I was a little kid, I always wanted to watch a game of baseball. Right. Really, because when I was growing up, there wasn't Sky and cable and all that. You had BBC One, BBC Two, ITV. You only had 4 channels, and when I eventually got to watch a game of baseball, it was the most boring sport I've ever watched. Right? It is like watching cricket. It's like watching cricket, and I had enough.
You know what's crazy though? I enjoy cricket. So as a kid, I had a neighbor, and he was from the UK, but he was an Indian kid.
Yeah.
Cricket's huge over there, so they would always play cricket, and I grew up playing baseball because my mom wouldn't let me play football. So I learned how to play I played baseball at a younger age. So I was always just like, yo, why does that baseball bat look weird? Like what is that? So they taught me about the game of cricket. And then I would go to his house and we'd watch cricket games. I was like, yo, this seems way cooler than baseball. And then you try to learn it and watch games, and the games are like longer than baseball games. It was terrible. But
they go for days, don't they?
Yeah. Like the rules are crazy. Yeah, no, I would never. No, I probably wouldn't play cricket again. But I'd probably watch a cricket game.
Yeah, I'm Jamaican. I'm supposed to like it, but I just don't.
Cricket's a Jamaican thing too.
The West Indies loves cricket. Cricket.
Hey Jamal, another one as well. That NFL. Why do they need to keep stopping every 10 seconds for scrum, lad?
I get asked this question a lot, and I'm just like, dude, I couldn't tell you, because you know how rugby, it's kind of nonstop, right? And rugby, football, damn near the same sport. I don't know why we stop after every play. In college. So what I say, watch college football, right? College football, a lot of those teams, they'll run what they call a no huddle offense, right? So they'll run a play and then they'll just speed up and line up again and run another play. So it's kind of like they call it 2-minute or 4-minute offense, right? Obviously you got to do a lot of cardio and make sure your team got stamina for it. But I can see why people get turned off to American football a lot, because you're stopping and plays only like 5 to 8 seconds depending on. But I guess I don't have a definitive answer for that. So I'm sorry. But when you come to California, I'll take you to a baseball game, man. Don't even worry about it. We got the best baseball team in the world, the LA Dodgers. Okay, World Series champions. We're defending the title this year. So I'm gonna take you to Dodger Stadium. It'll be a good experience. It'll probably remind you of like soccer games in England, because there'll be fights, beer thrown everywhere. It'll be great. It'll be good. It'll be like you're back home. Just a lot more Latinos around, but it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. I'm gonna take Sheridan to a Dodger game too. We're gonna get Dodger dogs, all of that, the whole LA experience.
Love that.
And then when I come to the UK, we'll do the football games. And all that.
It's a must. You'll never experience anything like it than going to like
that's the first thing I want to do when I get off the plane. Just taking to a soccer game. So you let me check into my Airbnb or my hotel room. We're going straight to the pitch, So Roy, so we talked about Big Condo, we talked about your influences. What we got to get into next. Who's your top 5? Okay. Dead or alive. It could be a UK. It could be UK rappers, American rappers.
It's all US. Sorry.
Look.
There's no UK rappers in there. Although my favorite UK rapper is probably Kano. To be honest.
My guy. Yeah.
Yeah. That if I had to have a favorite UK rapper, it would be Kano.
Okay.
But they're all US, all for different reasons though. Number 1 is Nas. That's me all-time favorite rap artist. I got to speak to him, and I seen him live in concert, and got to actually have a few words with him as well, which was good.
Okay.
second would be Jay-Z. So I consider Jay-Z an all-rounder. He's kind of, you know, what he can do with words and his rapping, but his business acumen as well, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Like, whereas Nas is my favorite lyricist, like Jay-Z is like me idol. That's what I aspire to be. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
Third would be Tupac. Just for the simple factors, he was heart. He had all the heart. He's probably one of the most rappers that's inspired me with regards to heartful music that comes from the heart. The first ever rap song I learned word for word, all the way front to back, was Brenda's Got a Baby.
You know, all the Tupac songs, that's a random one to learn. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Granted, my first one was Hit 'Em Up, so.
Was it? Yeah. No. It was Brenda's Got a Baby, and I knew it word for word, and I sung it every day when I was in work. Yeah. Fourth, sorry, is Eminem. Yeah. So, just for the simple fact of the structure and content of the music that he's actually done. Like, he showed a lot of rappers that, you know, you don't have to just rap about gangster stuff and stuff like that. You can rap about your mum popping some volume and things like that. Know what I mean? You can rap about your kids. Like, he was one of the first rappers that I heard talk about his kids in that way, talk about his mum in that way and stuff like that. But like, lyrically, like he's good with like his multis and just the way he puts the words together, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And last one, number 5, which is totally underrated, but I've been supporting him since '99, and that's Royce the 5'9".
Man.
This is a very respectable list. I have no issues with this list.
Yeah, no, I have no qualms with this.
None. No.
You know, Royce is a good guy. I've talked to him on a couple of occasions. He's real cool. I like that list. I respect that. You know, that list gets an A+ from me. I think we gotta start rating people's lists now, Sheridan. We gotta start. We gotta start judging these rappers based on their lists nowadays. I feel.
We should, and then at the end of the year, we'll collate them and who's like
which
first
rapper had the best.
Who graduates. Exactly. You need to come back.
I like that. I like that. You know that. See, I like Sheridan. Sheridan is really good at coming up with content for our show.
Yeah.
And all that. It's always good to have a woman on the team. If there's any gem I can drop in any interview, get a woman on your team. Pick and choose what kind of woman you get on your team. You can't just put any woman on your team, but get a woman on your team. They help you out. They're smart. They're intuitive. They're the greatest species in the world. Shout out to all the women out there. Not all the women, but shout out to women.
Okay, I'll let that one fly because it's an interview and not the morning routine. But
yes. And at least Mattress isn't here to give a rebuttal on it. So there you go.
I wanted to ask, what are you listening to at the moment? Like, who catches your ear? Who are you interested in? Who has a good sound at the moment? Who are you listening to right now, music-wise?
From the UK, I'd say Mist. I like Mist's. Obviously, yeah. I wouldn't say he was the greatest lyrical rapper, but I just like the sound.
Yeah.
That he produces. From America, I've been listening to a lot of Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Fabulous.
Old Fabulous or newer Fabulous?
Well, Ghetto Fabulous.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's no kind of like newcomers or some of the sort of next gen that are appealing to you?
I don't know. When you say next gen, I don't know. You're talking the baby and stuff like that, are you? Or Lil Yachty.
Okay.
You know what? I used to.
I can't listen to any of them. I listened to a Lil Yachty track and I thought, what the hell am I listening to here? And then switched over. No,
you know
no
what,
offense.
don't write them all off.
Just in case he sees this, if he ever sees this, I respect what you do. Yeah, I totally appreciate you're a music artist. You're in the industry and you're doing well, and I accept that and I appreciate that. So good luck to what you're doing. But I can't listen to your music. I apologize.
Look, I respect the response. He could have went totally left field.
No, absolutely. The one thing I would say though is don't write off, because I used to be a super purist, right? I used to be a super duper East Coast. If it's not Mobb Deep, if it's not Tragedy Gaddafi, if it's not CNN, I don't want to hear it. And then one night I was really bored and I thought, let me listen to this Trippie Redd kid and these new kids. And honestly, Trippie Redd is one of the most talented young artists I've heard in a long time. And it opened me up to thinking, I'm gonna start listening to these young kids more. And then I've been listening to, like Baby Keem and people like that. And I'm like, you know what, these kids are doing it, man. They're really doing it. There are some out there that are really
there's some gems out there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess since I'm more exposed to it being out here in the US, you kind of get bombarded with all of it, because there's so many and they're all damn near the same. But there's those rare gems that are slightly different, like a Trippie Redd, or even a Lil Uzi, or a Baby Keem, guys like that. It makes for good music. Some of them got some really dope projects out that kind of go a little under the radar, I guess, because the personalities behind them at most times. I was pretty cool on Kodak for a little bit. I wasn't like as big as like everyone else was on him. But I guess just having a moral high ground, I guess you could say. I think I separated the person from the music. I separate the person from the music usually, but
I have a guilty pleasure. I like listening to French Montana.
It's not a guilty pleasure. It's not guilty pleasure.
When French Montana and Max B was out, Free Max B, some of the greatest music ever. When he was flooding the streets with mixtapes, Coke Wave, listen, that is not a guilty. Maybe new French.
Okay.
But old French, Max B French.
Yeah, French gets love out here.
Playing in the Wind, classic. Like
I love French, man. That's I mean, French and Sway Lee should probably never make a song again ever. But but yeah, no, that's no guilty pleasure. I feel like a guilty pleasure would probably be, I don't know. Man, what would be a guilty pleasure artist? Let me look at my Spotify.
He's waiting for his Spotify up.
I mean, because I listen to a lot of different things, so
I don't think I have a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I don't think I have a guilty pleasure either. No,
I'm quite proud of all the rubbish that I listen to also. Like
I was like, okay, I guess I don't have a guilty pleasure. I'm pretty good with my music taste. Are there any, we talked about missed opportunity with Black Rob. Are there any collaborations that you're kind of shooting for? Any collaborations down the line that you want to happen? Any that were presented to you that you're kind of just like, no, not my style right now?
There's a lot of people out there that I do want to collaborate with, but I think it's just finding the right moments and stuff like that. So sometimes like if a collaboration for you would be good for you, but it's not good for them, if that makes any sense.
It's true.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I've got 70,000 followers on Twitter, maybe 7,000 Instagram followers, 5,000 Facebook. So if I was to do a collaboration with an artist that's touching 100 to 200,000 followers and everything, that's a plus for me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But that's a step back for them because they want to be hitting artists who have got 500,000.
I see that. I see that. Yeah. And I definitely think social media and followings have kind of affected how artists approach certain artists, because everyone kind of has to start from zero, right? But I mean, there's talent everywhere, no matter the forward count. But I see where you're going with that. Times have definitely changed as far as that's concerned. I feel like if social media was a thing back in the early 2000s, late 90s, a follower probably would have.
It's easier to get a collaboration now than what it was then, because I can just reach out to anyone. I could reach out to Fabulous or Jadakiss, or I could even reach out to Royce right now and say, I want to do a collaboration. And his team will hit me back with a price straight away.
Fair. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it beats the days of, yeah.
Because they're kind of artists in their own right these days. They're getting a lot of props because some people are followers of producers as opposed to artists now. So are there any producers that you'd love to work with, or you're trying to work with at the moment?
I'd love to work with Jahil Beats. I think he's the hottest producer out there. Dr. Dre, that would be a dream.
Of course. Everybody wants a Dre track. There's definitely a lot of producers on the rise out here. There's there's a lot to pick from, but there's also, it's kind of just like there needs to be a synergy, right? So you can't just pick any producer. You got to pick someone that kind of fits your music, right? You kind of have someone that kind of fits how you write, what your creative process is. And I think that's what a lot of artists don't really understand. They just think, oh, I got this producer with a big name, he's going to be hot. And then they kind of either overperform and it's not good, or underperform, it's never really just right. There's also those gems where it does work, but most of the time it doesn't really gel as well.
I suppose we get that because the way people make music now is so different. Before you'd have to go to the studio, you'd have to be with them and be in a creative space, and then you've got time to change things, you've got time to gel and mesh, as you said. Now it's sort of like, I've got this beat, send it over, or can you write a verse? And it doesn't always fit. So it's a lot different nowadays than it was before, especially with COVID, I suppose, as well. You can't even try and create that process right now.
Yeah, it's all.
I have 400 features worldwide, and I haven't even met half the people whose songs are featured on. So what you're saying, it is a blessing to be in the studio with someone and experience that moment of creativity rather than just sending verses everywhere.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Wow. This has been a very fun interview. I'm glad I finally got to talk to you, Royzy, man. Just been DMing each other and, emailing each other. So it's great. We got to get this on. Tru1Hundred listeners, now you have a face behind the name and the voice of Sheridan. So, I might have to turn the comments off of this video, to be honest. I don't know if I'm ready to get those notifications.
This is an evening after school run, putting my kid to bed face. So it's not quite, peak Sheridan, but it will do.
Peak Sheridan.
It will do.
Women in their peaks, right? But we got rappers napping. The song will be out. It'll be out on the 21st, right?
Yeah, 21st of May.
So it'll be out this weekend. It'll be out this weekend. Video coming soon. Shout out to Bazaar. Shout out to everyone that was a part of this. Shout out to Big Condo Records. Shout out to Liverpool. Shout out to you, my man. Where can we find you on the socials?
Can I just throw another shout out as well? I want to shout out Chase Johnston Lynch, who's the director of Rappers Napping. He's also the director of the Fallen music video, The Journey, House of Cards, and he used to shoot all the old Wu-Tang music videos back in the 90s. So I just want to shout out Chase for all his support, for helping me put all these videos together. Also Blake, who edits them all as well. And I just want to shout out Gemma for all her support as well that she's been given, and pretty much everyone at Big Condo as well.
Shout out to them. Where can we find you on social media, man?
And I just want to thank you too as well. I just want to say I appreciate this moment.
Listen,
it's been a pleasure. You've both been awesome to speak to. So I want to thank you too as well. Thank you very much.
I'm just a little old member of the media, man. Don't mind me. We just like getting the good getting the good music out there. You know, and I you know, on behalf of myself, I feel like I couldn't do this interview myself, and I had to get another Brit on this interview. So I mean, I feel like this worked out very well.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, when we come out to LA, man, and come to Cali, we out here, man. You know, we're giving you the full LA experience without the gunplay. All right.
It's definitely going to happen. That's where all the support is. Even if I don't do the whole US and I just end up in California.
Hey, man. Hey, we got a home for you. We'll bring you back to the station. So in 2022, be on the lookout for Big Condo Records. My man Royzy Rothschild. We're gonna be out here. Thank you guys for listening and supporting. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all that. For Sheridan, my man Royzy, we will be back and we will see you guys soon, right here on Tru1Hundred Radio.
Bye.